Hey guys, it's been a while. Yeah, I know it has been a while, but today we're back a year later. With a new video, and this is probably the easiest video I've ever had to make. But because I've been gone for so long, I was at school. Didn't really have much time. I decided to make a couple very simple videos, and this is the first one, which is a tier list of Breaking Bad characters based strictly on morals. Now, what I mean is, I am ranking the characters based on who is the best to who is the worst as a person, not as a character, because I feel like it'd be too boring if it was a character, because it'd be like Jesse S, Walt S, Gus S, Saul A, Mike A. I just love all of them, so it's really hard for me to do that. But anyway, but I think doing it morally is a lot more interesting. So that's what I'm going to do today. The tiers are N/A, which means I don't recognize the character, or I don't think they have much. You don't know enough about them for you to make a judgment. Great people are great people, self-explanatory. Good but flawed. Good but has certain things that they do in the show that maybe aren't so good. Morally questionable. Uh, just like it's hard to say whether they're bad or good. They're somewhere in the middle. They do bad things, they do good things, or they have an excuse. Bad is bad. Evil, just usually people that are bad except do more bad things or are just complete sociopaths. Anyway, starting with Andrea, we'll put her in good but flawed. I like Andrea a lot, actually. I think she's a sweet person, and she does change, but you can't forget that in the beginning she was a drug addict, which I don't think is necessarily a terrible. Well, no, it is a terrible thing, but I wouldn't say you're a bad person just because you do drugs, or you're not a horrible person. But she does them in front of her 6-year-old son, and drug usage does really affect people around you, and you're doing it because of your stupidity. So I think that makes her not a great person, but she changes, and I think she's clean afterwards. And I always appreciate that. So I'll put her in good but flawed. Badger, morally questionable for sure. Badger's not terrible or anything, but I don't think he's the best either. I think he does sell drugs, but he changes and he stops. So that's enough. Like, I think if you sell drugs and you don't change, that's enough to put you as a bad person. But he does at least stop, so they'll put him in morally questionable. Bogdan, this is the car wash owner. I'm gonna put Bogdan in morally questionable. He's just kind of an asshole, really. That's it. I don't think in Breaking Bad being just simply an asshole puts you above any people that actually do dangerous things. Anyway, Brock, obviously a great person, innocent kid, has only good things in his heart. I don't know who this is, honestly. I don't know who the hell that is. Combo, morally questionable. I think he's worse than Badger, but the thing is, he doesn't stop dealing, but he gets killed before he could. So I think that's enough to put him here. You don't really know if he would stop, but considering Badger and Skinny Pete did, I think he would too. Salamanca twins are evil for sure. I despise these guys. Like, they're generally like my least favorite characters in the show. I have problems with them as characters, but also like just nasty, absolutely nasty humans. They're not even like basically barely even humans, because they're just like androids. They just kill, and they have no sympathy for anybody else. They're cold-blooded villains. This is like for Los Pollos Hermanos. I don't think she counts. Bogdan, or sorry, who the hell? Not Bogdan. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he is probably one of the most interesting characters to judge here, because he's the guy that moves Walter to freaking New Hampshire, and then Jesse to Alaska. I think it was. Yeah, it was Alaska, and El Camino, which I have watched, but I have not watched Better Call Saul, by the way. Um, it's like hard, because like he allows criminals to live, or sorry, live in freedom, which is bad, but like, and he does that all for money, pretty much. It's bad. Don't get me wrong. Well, he capitalizes off of it too. He makes money off of criminals. I think he's bad. I mean, criminals do deserve punishment, even if I don't think it's necessarily an evil thing to do to let a prisoner go or criminal. Sorry, but I think that's he's still a bad person. Anyway, but it's hard. It's really hard, and he's going to be on the bottom of bad. I think he's not like you could make a very strong argument for him to go here because he's not necessarily hurting anybody. He's just being selfish and doing things for money that are not necessarily good. I don't know. I'll keep him here from now, I guess, but I might move him up in the end. This is Don Eladio. He's the leader of the cartel. He's evil. I don't know much about him, but I do know he's okay with killing people and okay with manufacturing drugs. So yeah, he's definitely evil. This is Emilio, I think. I mean, he's bad. He's a dealer, and he's okay killing people. You don't know too much about him. He could potentially be evil, but he's kind of just. I think the thing is, when you're really stupid and you're in the criminal world, you're just automatically not going to be as high as someone like Gus or Walter or the Salamanca, like actor Salamanca, because you just don't know what you're doing. If you're a regular junkie, you aren't going to contribute to as much bad as someone like Gus or Walt because they're geniuses. But he's still a shitty guy, you know. This is Francesca. I don't think you can judge her. Says she works for Saul. She's not. Yeah, you can't really say anything about her. Gail Bedecker, bad. He's nice. He's a sweetheart. Doesn't make him a good person though. He's actually a pretty terrible person. Well, just for the fact that he helps produce and manufacture methamphetamine and helps a horrible, horrible criminal succeed in everything. And he's also really smart, and he could be using that intelligence for positive things, but instead he harms people by producing drugs. And yeah, that's a bad thing. I think producing drugs and you don't show to stop automatically puts you at least here because it's a really bad thing to do, and you will literally affect so many families and people by making it. I mean, it's a really bad thing to do. It's a really big deal. I don't know why I'm even saying it. It's pretty obvious, but I think Badger and Combo are different because they kind of again you could see that they stopped and they did it under influence of someone else clearly. So the sheriff, I don't think you could put him in the tier list. It's hard to say, but he's probably a great person. He's probably a hardworking, supportive person who tries to make the world better, which is Steve Gomez's entire personality. I think that he's the best adult person in the show. I mean, yeah, he's a heroic guy, loyal, very loyal to Hank, very hardworking, tries to be the best person he can, tries to help out with, you know, helps stop crime, and crime affects so many people. So he is just actively making a world a better place by stopping crime. Elliot Schwartz, um, good but flawed. I know a lot of people hate him on the surface. Yeah, he's annoying, but like he really does nothing wrong. He actually does a lot of good things in the show. He offers to help Walter when he, you know, almost when he gets cancer, and he offers him a job that pays him a lot more than teaching would. And then in the end, you could say like, oh well, Elliot didn't. He said Walt. He like said lies about Walter on the TV, but like, what else was he supposed to do? Like, he does not want to associate his company with a drug kingpin, and that's simple as that. And you don't want to associate your company because you want to make money. Making money is like just wanting to make money to provide for you and your wife is not a bad thing to do, even if you lie about it. Like, it really isn't. So he's not hurting anyone. Gus Fring. This is very easy. He's evil. I absolutely hate Gus. Or, I mean, I love him as a character, but he's a horrible person. Absolutely despicable person. He's a drug kingpin, meth kingpin. He kills many people in the show. I mean, a lot of them are cartel members, but it doesn't matter. He's okay with kids being killed because of his association with those two guys, those two dealers working for him who did kill kids. And I mean, yeah, he's just a really cold blooded killer. And I mean, what he did to Victor was just horrible. He's a sadist as well. And pretty much his entire motivation for everything was just vengeance. And that's not a good motivation. He's hurting and affecting people that have nothing to do with the people that he's trying to take revenge on. So I think that is what makes him such a bad person. Hank Schrader, good but flawed. You could say he's great, but he does so many annoying things in the show. The way he treats Marie is bad. The way he treats criminals is bad. But he is a loyal, hardworking man who tries to do his best to help the world out and make it a better place. And I think that's good enough. Hector Salamanca is freaking awful. I mean, yeah, there's nothing to say good about Hector. He's an old man and he still has so much sadism inside him. He's just horrible. I mean, he's so bad that it's funny. He's just like he would rather die than see his enemies succeed, which is a proof of sadism and a proof of just caring so much about your ego more than even your happiness. It's horrible. I mean, he raises these guys too. Like he's all about not caring about other people and being a cold-blooded killer. So Holly, yeah, baby. Huel, morally questionable. I mean, he's just a petty criminal. Basically, he's not really a terrible person. He's just a petty criminal. I don't think he's that bad though. But like, yeah, he does most of what he does is either not that severe. I'll put him, yeah, it's either not that severe or he doesn't really know. He's not just directly contributing to the crime, so I don't think he's that bad. But he's still just greedy and selfish. Uncle Jack or Jack, whatever. Yeah, evil. He's a white supremacist, Nazi murderer who runs a gang of people who enslave a person and kill a lot of people, and he takes control of all of it. He directly kills quite a few people. He has nothing sympathetic about him. I think he views anybody that is not he doesn't see on the same level as them as worthless, and he's okay with killing them all. So that's just a horrible thing to do. Jane, um, Jane is morally questionable, I guess. She's kind of an asshole. She's selfish. She's a drug addict. That's bad. Again, even though I don't think it's terrible, I think it's still a bad thing because you negatively are affecting people in your life, like her dad, who is very negatively affected by it. But a lot of it, she does try to make better, and that's enough to. I don't hate her. I think she's just a really sad character, complicated. Jane's dad, I think, is good but flawed. Very tragic character. I feel really bad for him, but he did a bad job raising a child, but that doesn't make you a bad person. I think he tries his best and he gets screwed in the end, which sucks. Jesse Pinkman, one of the toughest characters to rank, for sure. Jesse, okay, start of the show, Jesse, bad. Or, I mean, up to like season 4, bad. Maybe even, nah, yeah. But he's like, yeah, he helps manufacture and sell methamphetamine and helps run a meth empire. He kills quite a few people in the show. He sells drugs to people in rehab, which is awful. But in the end, he's also young and he doesn't really know what he's doing. And in the end, he tries to redeem himself and becomes kind of the moral compass of the show. And he really, really does try to make things better in the end. And he kind of does succeed. Like he undoes a lot of the horrible things he does by giving out money to people he's hurt and by trying to help capture Walt, which would be a great thing, which would allow a lot of terrible things to stop happening. So we'll put him here, very top, very top. This is I don't know Mike's granddaughter. I don't know her name, but she's a kid. So this is Crazy Eight. I'll put Crazy Eight as bad. We'll put them together. They're both just petty drug dealers. They're both assholes. They're both idiots. And yeah, they're definitely okay with killing people and selling drugs, but you don't know whether to put them in evil or not. Bill Burr, I think his name is QB in the show. We'll put him next to Huel because they're partners. Again, petty criminals, not horrible people or anything, but they're just greedy and selfish. Sorry. Lewis, this is Walter Jr.'s best friend, but you can't say anything about him. Lydia is tough. She's either, I hate Lydia. I freaking hate her. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm putting her in evil. I hate Lydia. Lydia is such a bitch. She, manufactures and produces drugs, but she also puts a hit out on 10 people and tries to get them killed. And she's just so selfish and so ruthless in a way. And she just kind of hides behind it. And I think that's horrible. So yeah, I hate Lydia. Marie, she's going at the top of good but flawed. I don't think she's a great person. She does shitty things in the show like steal and She's kind of annoying, but I like her, to be honest. Okay, next up we have, this is Gus's friend or lover, I don't know. And yeah, we'll put him here. Mike Ermtrout. I love him as a character, but and I have not seen Better Call Saul again, so I don't know what his motivation is for doing all this. Maybe I think he has a tragic past, from what I heard. But from now on, he's really bad. He's going at the top of bad. He helps him with everything. You know, kills a lot of people. A very ruthless, cold-blooded person, and he does have a decent motivation, I guess, because he wants to support his granddaughter. That's fine, but like, I don't know, just overall though, like, I mean, the amount of terrible things he does in the show is just ridiculous. He's killed so many people, and yeah, that's really his main thing. Is he's just a cold-blooded killer, and he's an hitman. Which, oh well, it's his job. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. To me, murder is murder. If you're killing bad people, good people, it's still not okay. I don't even know what this guy is. I mean, I know him. He's the guy that helps with the cars, but I can't judge him. This is Jesse's parents. I can't judge them either. Saul Goodman. Saul Goodman. Love him. But honestly, he's bad in my opinion. I don't think Saul Goodman's a good person at all. I think he's corrupt. I think he's greedy. I think he doesn't directly contribute to horrible things, but he kind of does. Like, he doesn't kill people. He doesn't come up to them and shoot them. He doesn't order people to get killed, but he helps horrible criminals do what they're doing and get them, whatever easiest way to do what they want to do. So he doesn't really have an intention of doing bad. He's just doing it as a way for him to be successful, and that's bad. Um, he could definitely, he knows that he's working with people like Gus and Walt, and he knows what terrible things they do, and he helps out with it. So I think they'll put him in bad. Skinny Pete, we'll put him in here next to Badger. Skyler, Skyler's tough. Skyler's a tough one. Very hard character rank. Skyler White. I mean, I don't hate her as much as other people do. Some people would put her like here. I think those people are crazy. They're ridiculous. Skyler, yeah, she's morally questionable. Yeah, she's an asshole in the beginning of the show. I don't think she's that bad, but I think she is bossy. She's controlling, and she's kind of a bad wife. She's unsupportive. She cares a lot about herself. But it's not that severe, to be honest. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just like, and then later on, yeah, she does terrible things. She cheats on Walter, and that's horrible. And I think cheating is just a really, really screwed up thing for a person to do. And then she does find out, and she lets it happen pretty much. But to be fair, what choice did she really have? She kind of was just trying to her best to protect herself and her family. So she turning him in would be horrible for everybody. And yeah, it's hard. I'll put her there. I guess she's above Jesse. Again, she knew about the crimes and she let them happen, which is bad. Without, if Skylar just told somebody, she'd be a better. I mean, a lot of terrible things wouldn't happen, but again, she didn't have much of a choice. So I'll put her here. Ted Beneke can definitely go in morally questionable. He's kind of just a dumbass and he just does stupid things, but he's not really that bad intentioned. He just doesn't think things through. So, Todd, uh, God, I hate Todd. Todd's a little piece of shit. Todd's going here next to his uncle. I mean, absolutely horrible person. Just a psychopath. I mean, he has no redeeming qualities. He doesn't care for anybody. He kind of like pretends that he's nice, but like it's all under the surface. He kills people. He enslaves a person. He kills a child for the love of God. And he also tries to make drugs. He's not that good at anything really. He's kind of incompetent, but anyway, yeah, he's definitely evil. This kid, this is like Andrea's little brother. I don't think you can really rank him. He's done bad things, but he's a kid, which I think is hard. You could, and also you don't know much about him. So yeah, this guy, uh, yeah, I don't really. It's the guy with a tortoise on his head. That's what he's known for. But that's really it. He's just a cocky asshole. I think you can tell that. But that's really it. Tuco Salamanca. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's horrible. Tuco is just awful. I mean, I don't know which I mean, I guess Hector is the worst. These guys are tied. These guys are like emotionless, cold-blooded killers. He is very, very angry, cold-blooded killer. Fine, like yeah, he's hot-blooded killer. I don't know if that's a word, but that's exactly what Tuco is. He gets pissed and he kills people. Like he just has such a short impulse and short temper that he kills people that are his associates because he's pissed. I mean, that is something no one even close to normal would do. And he's just also a violent human being. He only cares about himself, only cares about money and power, and does terrible things. So yeah, Jesse's parents. I thought we already put them. But okay, we'll put him here. This guy. I don't know his name, but I know this is Victor, and they pretty much are the same person. They helped this horrible monster do everything he does. And they definitely have killed a couple people. I can't really remember, but yeah, they're bad. They help a lot of bad things to happen. They contribute to a lot of bad things happening. Both really terrible. Walter Jr., I'm sorry, but great. I love Walter Jr. Walter Jr. is such a good guy. I mean, first of all, for a 16-year-old kid already to be this kind and loyal is really tough because, hormones kind of makes you a different person. But Walt Jr. is such a great kid. And especially by the fact that he has pretty shitty parents who are both very, very not honest with him at all. But he carries on. He's still kind. He's still caring. He's still loving. He's loyal, and he suffers through a lot too. So I think he's great. I'll put him here actually. Uh, we'll put. I mean, before we talk about Walt, we'll throw Wendy or whatever her name is here. She's just a crackhead. I don't think you can judge her. And finally, we have Mr. White himself, Walter White. I mean, the main character of the show, one of the greatest characters in fiction, in my opinion, like from everything I've read, watched, and I can't think of many characters that I think are more interesting than Walter White. But he's evil, and I know Walter White defenders would disagree. They'd put him somewhere here, but or even here. I don't know who would, but Walt, if his main motivation really was to help his family, then I guess he'd be here. But it's not because he admits to it that the entire purpose of everything he does is for himself because of his ego, because of his pride. He had the chance to make money for his family through Elliot, but he disagreed because he wanted to do things himself. And he's just a really, really awful person. He's just prideful, envious, egotistical. Only cares about well, he cares about other people, but not enough to help him stop doing a lot of the horrible things he does, just to give him more power and because he likes it. He does everything out of enjoyment pretty much. And yeah, he's a horrible person, kills many people. I mean, is a drug kingpin, manufactures and sells drugs. Um, and just like so many people that he's ordered to kill, that he has directly killed, and also his selfishness has caused, I mean, 127 people in an airplane to die, which is crazy. So I think Walter White is an absolutely villainous person. I mean, just an example of what a person's pride can do to him. But he's an amazing character. And anyway, that's it for the video. Hope you guys had fun watching it. What are you guys' thoughts? Write them in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys.